that just last couple of years, every year we are producing more than 700 billion semiconductor devices, almost more than 100 devices per individual on the face of the earth. So each of us is entitled to more than 100 pieces of silicon in our life. If you don't have it, you can ask for it. But interestingly, power management and power electronics and power semiconductor is outpacing the rest of the semiconductor industry. As you can see, 20% growth from 13 to 14, which is quite telling in the sense that with the power budget that we have, we need to do more and more as far as the processing and intelligence and connectivity that is required from every device around us. As you can see, the CAGR is in the kind of like around 4.5% for last year or so. But you can see that semiconductor units are growing much faster than world population and the GDP of the entire world. Now, let me interestingly talk about some of the aspects of power management. From megawatts, how to generate power more efficiently and more distributed way, how to move power around, and how to use power more efficiently. From nanowatts, I remember nanowatt almost was negligible in power, but these days you need voltage references and power management which really burns nanowatt in standby, all the way to megawatts that you need to handle in transmission and generation of the power. A good example of that is automotive. Of course, Berthold is the automotive expert, is going to talk a lot deeper about automotive aspects. But what is interesting is that about a third of the cost of this typical average car has to do with the electronics in the car. And I was talking to some of these electric and hybrid electric vehicle manufacturers. The semiconductor content in electric vehicle or advanced electric vehicle is 3 times higher than a typical internal combustion engine. And another observation is that in this chart, as you can see, the pace of semiconductor increase in the car is almost 2.5 times the rate of the increase in the number of the cars, which means that the semiconductor content in a car is increasing extremely fast, and it's one of the main differentiators of the car value, which shows the impact of the advanced semiconductor across the board in our industry. I've used this slide in a couple of my talks and keynotes because it's quite telling about what this community of semiconductor scientists and engineers have done. I think semiconductor technology is the only, or maybe one of the very few technologies and businesses that manage to beat inflation. No economist has come up with a formula to beat inflation, but I think you guys did. And here's how it worked. Today, a typical factory fabrication of a semiconductor is about 1,000 times more expensive than what it used to be 30 years ago.